All right, we're going to learn how to turn on the heat here at the Anthony Building. Pastor Dave.
In order to prepare the furnace to respond to the thermostat, there are four things you have to look at. The first one is the overflow tank, the condensate to overflow tank. Make sure this valve is turned tight to the right, closing the valve.
The valve with the yellow tag on it down
The
there.
yellow cable tie.
Okay, and you twist it.
Turn to the
right.
Clockwise.
Righty-tighty. Okay, turn it off.
The second thing to
close
verify is that the electrical feed is on. This is the feed pump that pumps water from the condensate tank to the boiler.
Okay. So it's on right now.
Up is on.
Up is on. Okay.
The third thing to verify or to move is to make sure that the water valve is open going into the condensate tank.
Okay.
That will replace water as it's drained out with fresh water so that you have a constant availability to the boiler.
So the yellow switch or the yellow
Moves up and down.
that's off.
Down is open.
Okay.
When it's
Parallel
to the feed pipe.
Okay, so that needs to be on. The
Yes.
yellow handle needs to be on. Okay.
And then going over to the boiler, the fourth and last thing are the two gas valves. Moving the gas valves so that the handle of the valve is parallel to the gas line.
Okay.
There's one valve here and a second valve, yellow handled valve, here.
Okay, those are both on now.
Those are now both on,
Okay.
and the furnace is ready to respond to the upstairs thermostat.
That's all we have to do down here to turn it on.
That's all you have to do down here to turn it on, yes.
Okay.
Assuming that the boiler has been blown down after its previous use.
Okay, and that's another step completely different after you're done using the entire system.
Right.
Okay, and so this is already ready to go. And now, if someone forgot to blow down the system, like you just said, and we'll have that in another video, can you still do all of this even if it hasn't been blown down?
Yes, it will still respond and it will still turn on.
Okay.
Blowing it down has nothing to do with the operation. It has everything to do with the maintenance.
And it also preserves energy. So anyway, that's a whole different subject. But it helps with our gas bill if we blow it down.
Helps with the efficiency.
And it also helps with the prolonging the life of it. But as far as everything we did here, no matter what, this is what you do to prep the boiler to turn on when we want it to with the thermostat upstairs.
Correct.
Okay, wonderful. So we've got that step over there, and we have over here this step over here, and we're ready to go upstairs and turn on the thermostat. Okay, now we're up at the first floor at the thermostat here in the foyer.
There are two modes that you can run the furnace in. One is run in program. The second is hold temperature. Run program means that the thermostat is going to run according to a preset program within the thermostat.
Okay.
So if we were going to run the furnace right now, based on the program, we would hit run program and then verify that the slide valve, the slide switch goes from on over to heat.
Okay.
If we wanted to bypass the program
Uh-huh.
and set the furnace to run constantly at a set temperature,
Okay.
we would hit hold temperature, which is the middle button, and then go over to the temperature settings and either arrow up or down so that the display reads the temperature we want it to maintain.
Okay.
In this situation today, we're going to hit run program and move this switch to heat, and we immediately hear the furnace going through its purge air, and it's just turned on.
Okay. Because the thermostat run program is set to be at what temperature
The
right
current
now?
program right now is requiring this to be 68 degrees until 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay.
Its current setting is now 65, so it would run until it picked up to 3 degrees, or until 1 o'clock when it would shut off.
Okay, and then it'll shut down and we're done.
If this had been a cold Saturday night, and we had been wanting to run the furnace overnight so the sanctuary came up to temperature and was warm for Sunday morning, we would have hit hold temperature and probably bumped this thermostat up to about 70 degrees so that it would have been above whatever the pre-programmed
Okay,
temperature requirement
Okay,
was.
okay.
That would have ensured it running through the night.
okay. So this is already programmed to do some things for us in there, to
Right.
do temperature, to handle the cold weather.
And the book that you have shows you how to change the programs that are
Okay,
in there
okay.
for different times and different temperatures.
And so if we had a specific event where it was unusual to the programming, the biggest thing is to make sure that you use the hold temperature, then you push the hold temperature button,
Right.
hold temp button.
The hold temp
And then you go over here while it's blinking and you push the arrows up or down according to the temperature.
for your temperature setting.
Okay, and then you turn the switch to heat, and then off you go.
That's right.
Okay.
The hold temp allows you to bypass
Okay.
the run program.
And this is the only thermostat that runs the boiler
This is the controlling thermostat for the furnace.
for the entire building.
Yes.
None of the other thermostats in the building are related to the boiler in any way.
Any other thermostat or valve in the building simply controls the amount of steam that is going into that specific room.
Okay.
It does not control the operation of the boiler.
Okay, so this turns on and off the boiler according to with the temperature. Okay, it's the thermostat. Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So we have in every room, well, in most rooms, if there is one, there's a little white knob.
It's a white Danfoss valve.
It's called a Danfoss valve. And what does it do?
That controls or regulates the amount of steam being allowed to run through the radiators in the separate rooms.
Okay, so in this particular room, the steam or the amount of heated water coming through here is regulated by this
Right.
particular valve.
If it's turned clockwise down to setting 1 or down to what looks like a little snowflake,
Yes.
the little snowflake is virtually turned off.
Okay.
Turning it counterclockwise through its settings, 1, 2, 3, 4, up to as high as 5,
Okay.
increases the amount of steam going into a room.
You can hear it now coming in. Yeah.
That's right. It's my understanding that setting 3 is comparable to about 65 degrees.
Okay.
So if we're using, in the middle of the winter, if we're using a room or wanting to use a room and heat a room, we had previously always set the valve at 4,
Okay.
which is about mid-70s,
Okay.
to allow heat.
Okay. And so this, right now, the way it's set, will allow this room to be at setting 4, around in the 70s. And that's because it's opening up the water valve that allows the steam to come into this room, into this radiator.
That's correct.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.